It's National Nest Box Week and we're here to give you the lowdown on all the different nest boxes you can introduce to your garden this week. So this is our classic New England nest box. This is your fundamental basic nest box. So with this one, it has a relatively small hole for your blue tits. You can also use it for great tit and house sparrow. So this type of box is perfect if you're putting it onto your house. You can also put it onto your walls, onto a tree, or even putting it on a shed. Birds will take to it really easily. Make sure you put this box in a northeast direction. That means it's not going to get wind inside of it, and hopefully it won't get rain inside of it, but it's really easy to attach with a hook at the back. Nice and simple. You can put this one up anywhere in your garden for your blue tits to enjoy. Now, if you're not a novice to nest boxes, we're going to get more in depth of a different variety you can put up. So this nest box may look a bit scary. It's really nice to stick one of these up, especially if you have your house on an apex. You can put that up towards there for your house sparrows. The hole is the same size as our New England one, which means you'll have the same number of species be able to use it. It has a lot of space underneath for large nests like blue tits. They like to go a bit overboard with the decorations of their nests. And again, this one's a nice one that you can stick up anywhere: walls, trees, fences, or even the apex of your house with the pointed top. It'll nestle in perfectly up there. Now, moving away from our blue tits and great tits in our gardens, we're moving towards one of our favourite garden birds that nests in the garden, especially here in my garden, the robin. So robins will take to any type of box that's open. So with our teapot nester, it's nice and open, so the robin can build its nest but still have that observation viewpoint. They like to be able to look around and see what's going on because they're so territorial. So having this type of teapot, or even an open nester, the teapot allows it to build its nest and still look out. These type of things, you can nestle them amongst ivy if you've got ivy in your garden. You can put them in hedges. You can also put them on your sheds as well. They can go in a northeast direction, or you could put them in any direction, providing there's not wind directly coming towards the box. Your robin will be fine and dandy inside our teapot nester. One species that has made its way onto the red list this year that we can help during National Nest Box Week is the house martin. So the UK red list is the red list of species that have had a dramatic decline. So our house martin's on it. We also have other garden wildlife on there, such as greenfinches, and basically it's species that have a dramatic decline that we are losing rapidly, and that's where our house martin makes its way onto. So it's not your traditional nest box. House martin nest in bowls go on the eaves of your house, and that just means you put this up, drill it onto your house, and make sure that the hole for the babies to stick their head out just faces outwards into your garden. So house martins are really able to adapt to using nest boxes, especially these little bowls. Even though they may look somewhat different to traditional nest boxes, putting them up and making sure that they have a clear flight path going into the box is really suitable for this species, and it's something that we can all do on our houses, especially if you know there's some nearby. They'll take to these really easily. So similar to our house martin nest box, you have the swallow one. The swallow one is slightly different. It doesn't have this viewpoint for the young to sit out from. Instead, it's got a complete bowl, and it's a bit wider and a bit deeper, and that's because swallows will have more young and like to build more of a construction of a nest. So these things can go inside sheds, they can go in lean-tos, they can go in your garage, anywhere that you have a nice covered area that swallows may like to nest in. These things, you can just drill them up and the swallows will find it. If you're finding that they're not taken to it, you can even put a little bit of mud in the bottom and make it look more like an old disused nest by covering it in mud and allowing the swallows to adapt and build into it. So it's another easy one for you to do this National Nest Box Week. And finally, we're not going to leave out our thrushes. We've talked about tits, we've talked about robins, we've had swallows and house martins, and finally we're going to have our blackbirds. One of the common features in all of our gardens is definitely the singing blackbirds in the morning, and you can stick up a nest box designed for blackbirds in your garden. You can put them in hedges, in shrubs, or even just put them inside your garden sheds where they can have a flight path in and out of the shed. This is basically a little box that the blackbirds will build their nest onto, but it gives them a little bit of rain to cover and to stop them getting so soggy. So to have these boxes, just put them up. You can either drill them into the tree itself or the shrub itself, or you can put a cord around it and hang it a bit. And you can even put some material on the bottom. So if you like a winter activity to do during National Nest Box Weeks, you can have a blackbird nester and you can fill it with some conifer or some twigs ready for your blackbirds to take into it. So hopefully this little guide will help you in deciding what nest box you want to introduce to your garden this National Nest Box Week, and hopefully we've inspired you to branch out a little bit and pick a different species rather than your classic blue tit.